This is the Hypothetically Sound podcast,
hosted by Alec, Randy, and Xavier,
where we take a hypothetical look at the world around us,
exploring the what ifs, maybes, and how comes.
Join in on the unfiltered, raw, and real conversations
as we explore the world around us.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Earth's Mysteries and Wonders. I'm here with Alec and Randy.
Yo.
And myself, of course.
Yeah,
and this time we're going to be bringing you an episode about dinosaurs. And we're going to start off pretty simple. I want to ask you guys, do you think dinosaurs existed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's much doubt about them existing. I think there's maybe some mystery around how they lived, how they went extinct, and what happened during the period of them existing and being extinct.
What if all the bones were fake?
Then they're fake, but like, I don't think they are.
It's a massive conspiracy then. Like,
massive conspiracy. Thought so too. Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that like to kind of argue whether or not dinosaurs are real or not, or ever existed.
What about you, Xavier? Do you think dinosaurs were real?
Yeah, I think they existed. I mean, there's fossils, things like that, and of course those could be faked, but that's probably something someone of a massive brain would need, and people all around the world to work together to create that sort of, you know.
I mean,
imagine like, because they have found skeletons on and fossils on 7 continents, all 7 continents.
Mm-hmm.
We know that they were everywhere. Imagine, like, what would be the thing that they're hiding to do a conspiracy of that level to, like, so were there aliens on our planets where it's massive civilization that, like, we took over, like, or we're experimenting, and there's just some, like, there's just so much for people to think it's fake.
I mean, to be fair, you've been to museums, I'm sure all of us have, and you've seen them in science museums, but have you ever touched one? Them bitches could be foam for all we know. All right, I don't know anyone personally that has touched one because we're all fucking civilized people. But like,
touch it and it just crumbles in your hands, and you're like.
Also, I've never met someone to claim to touch it, and I think that's because the CIA like snatches it off right away.
You touch it, the floor drops.
What if we live in a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids scenario, and those were actually just house pets?
There's actually a theory out there that we, like, everything we're doing is kind of like Honey, I Shrunk the Children, or that it's not Super Size Me, but there's some movie with Matt Damon where he gets shrunk down and everything, and they make small, like, villages, that we actually live in that type of world.
Dude, okay, first of all, that would be super dope. That movie is super dope, the concept.
Mm-hmm.
Second, I wish, but that sounds also real bullshitty, because, like, wouldn't we know when we went into space or something that we're not?
It's hard to say, though, right? Because, like, it kind of plays a role in, like, Greek mythology. Gods were so large.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
And
dinosaurs are so large, and then
right.
Why are we so? The evolution just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. You know, to be fair, if that was the case, I wouldn't want to meet the things that are much bigger than us, because they had T-Rexes as pets.
Right?
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
Like, our biggest creature is what? A giraffe? Like, that's not in the ocean. Like, the tallest creature we have is a giraffe with its neck.
On land, yeah.
Yeah.
Versus water, which blue whale would be the biggest.
Mm-hmm. A fucking tankard of a creature.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I got some pretty cool facts. I'm gonna kind of riddle them off and see what you guys think about them.
Yeah,
sure.
This one's just kind of sharing it. So Colorado's nickname is the Stegosaurus State, and it is the first ever skeleton found of that dinosaur type near Morrison, Colorado.
Okay.
Nice.
Right.
Fact about Stegosaurus that I read. They actually they went extinct 66 million years before T-Rexes were even a thing. So if you ever see a movie or anything where they're together, it is false. Straight false.
Not possible.
What's wild here is the fact that they could figure that out.
Yeah, right.
Carbon dating of
carbon. Yeah, but like, one day they're gonna find a fossil of a. See, it's not Stegosaurus. It's what? How did y'all pronounce it?
Stegosaurus. That's what we said.
I
Yeah,
swear to God, okay.
The science behind like pathology or whatever paleontology, the science around it just blows my mind. Like the true evolution of the science that they've done is insane. Like you went from just digging up bones to now like they use CAT scans and like carbon dating and all this shit, preserving dinosaur eggs. Like we are legitly like 100 years away from fucking Jurassic Park.
I think we could probably do Jurassic Park now if we really wanted to. Like the science in Jurassic Park is pretty accurate with like using frog DNA and stuff.
Yeah, DNA slicing. I mean, we're already there. We do DNA slicing. This is really off topic.
Did you not know that?
The first human pig heart transplant into a human just happened because they sliced the pig's DNA with human DNA.
Yep. Which is wild. It sounds like it's working out thus far, so it'll be pretty interesting to see the future and what that brings. It's kind of terrifying, really. Next, we're gonna have shark people and
and cat girls. Which it's not all bad if you think about it. Really.
Right. That's probably what their ultimate goal is. I'm sure Elon Musk is leading the
of course
the team on that.
Oh yeah.
100%.
And you know what? Like, let's just let science do what it does. All right.
All right, back on topic, nerds. So I found this pretty interesting that some of the biggest plant eaters had eaten so much food a day that it was equivalent to eating a bus-sized pile of vegetation.
So, like, they killing trees.
Plants, trees, but then, back into perspective, like, the plant life had to have been so much bigger in order for that to be possible without them absolutely destroying the earth in a small period of time.
I mean, humans weren't around, so probably, let's be honest.
Right.
If you listen to the podcast, I love equating things to movies and pop culture. So I have two of them for this. I think trees, honestly, were the size of the great tree in Hunter x Hunter. Like, I think they were just fucking massive. Like not to that scale, obviously, into outer space, but I think they were massive. Yeah. And I think they grew back leaves a lot quicker than ours do.
Super trees.
They were super trees. Like, we know trees are intelligent and can do all kinds of things. Like, look at the happening. They could kill us if they wanted to. But like, I actually did know this fact because my favorite movie of all time, The Land Before Time.
Yeah.
They talk about it when like long necks they finally find a tree, and like the tree is stripped of all of its leaves in like 30 seconds, and Littlefoot gets one little tiny fucking leaf to eat. So sad, but like it's crazy. Like, imagine, like, even though we cut down trees at a
alarming
rate, they ate them probably 2 to 3 times faster than we did,
which is quite interesting to.
Well, because I'm pretty sure, isn't like 80% of dinosaurs not carnivores? They're vegetarians?
Vegetarian. It was kind of interesting how it went. They were originally, some science say that they were originally meat eaters. They adapted to be plant eaters, and then turned into omnivores at the end, which is both.
Which pigs are.
Right. Right.
But yeah, also. Sorry, I was going to say, the difference between them eating up on the trees, though, and us eating up on some trees is they're not cutting down the tree, so there is no regrowth possible.
Hey,
we out here deep-rooting.
30 million, so we're good.
Not really.
Which kind of brings me, kind of like we were talking about the size before, bring me to another thing, that while many people think that dinosaurs were all massive, the truth is the majority of them were actually human-sized or smaller.
Yeah, isn't it only like a few that were like
the apex predators,
big boys, or like long neck or some shit?
But then let's talk about that though, right? Why was there only a few? How is that possible? If they were, mating and things like that, were they just giving birth to tiny little things that decided to start inhabiting the earth? Like, how come it's almost like their bloodline was so small?
I think it comes down to strictly it comes down to evolution, because I'm assuming by just knowing when they're predicting these creatures were alive separately,
Mhm.
the size between Stegosaurus and T-Rex and long necks is drastically different.
Mhm.
So I'm assuming during the Jurassic period, which is when Stegosauruses were around, that's probably the peak of size. Everything was these sizes was large, small, kind of like we see now. And then
Mhm.
in the final period when things were getting more messed up with the earth and food was more scarce, things got larger to support and defend their food.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh kind of like humans and Neanderthals, how another subspecies, what we are now, Homo sapiens, evolved from Neanderthals to be able to have bigger brains and do what we're doing now. That's what I'm assuming happened with dinosaurs. Is they needed to get
Right.
bigger, smarter to, even though T Rexes have tiny brains, had to get bigger and smarter to defend
I think
food.
I think
T-Rex.
T-Rexes just be big and scary because they trying to eat everything, you know what I'm saying? And they gotta be like to eat everything, you gotta be up there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
So,
100%.
because they weren't pack, there was theories that T Rexes would feast on their own children and things like that, right? So since a lot of them didn't travel in packs, they would have to defend themselves somehow by themselves. They're not like them little dinosaurs with the toenails, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I have a question.
Go for it.
Yeah.
So again, here goes another pop culture. In Marvel's Agent of Shields, they have Inhumans, and an Inhuman is made that goes to kill other Inhumans, and their dialogue in is that the Inhuman's evolution is everything you get your powers to fit a need. So obviously his need was to cut down on the amount of Inhumans being made. Uh, do you think that may have been what happened with T-Rexes, is the evolution of the peak of the dinosaur when T-Rexes came about? They were kind of evolutionized to lower the amount of dinosaurs because it was destroying the earth. Kind of like disease is for us. New diseases. Sorry, this is a little political, but COVID wiped out a chunk of population in an overpopulated world. Uh,
Mhm.
So things happen like that. So you think that might have been what happened with T Rexes, because they are an anomaly in the dinosaur world.
I think it's definitely a possibility. Um, Naturally, you would think that something like that would happen. I mean, as things start to multiply, the existence of problems, for example, COVID, as the populace has gotten so big, if it was controlled or not, it's something that would have probably happened inevitably as more and more gets added, more and more things get created. I guess is how that works.
Damn. So what you're saying is T Rexes were the warning to other dinosaurs before they decided just to pull the fucking trigger and hit them with an asteroid.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
they
like
were like
okay. It's like
they
sure.
they, they were introduced, right, to try to help, kind of quell how many little ones are running around.
And then they were like, shit,
They're like,
it's
it ain't
failing.
working. It ain't working. Time to send out the big guns.
What about Pangea? Fuck Pangea.
Fuck it, we're splitting up anyway. This is an interesting thing that I found out too, is that there really isn't any credible information found about necessarily how long dinosaurs lived for, but there are speculation that they could have lived for as long as 200 years, which gets us back to the overpopulation of dinosaurs. Maybe that's why.
No, it makes sense. If you look at creatures now that are considered to be dinosaur esque,
Oh, like
they
birds?
birds and things, they live
Alligators and
a
crocodiles.
long time for having such small organs and bodies and everything. You would think they would live a lower amount of time than they do.
Right.
Turtles living for 100 years.
Mhm.
And we know that the turtles we have now are not even close to the quarter the size of turtles that lived during the Jurassic period. So yeah,
Mhm.
it makes sense that they would live 200 years. And if you look at eggs we found, we don't find single eggs. we find nests
Right.
of eggs. So that means that
Right.
when they gave birth, just like many of the animals now, they're giving birth to packs of dinosaurs. So yeah, the overpopulation makes sense. And if they're living 200, 300 years, naturally, it would make sense that
That it would happen.
it would happen. Yeah.
At least it would go towards that direction, therefore introducing things like illness or, which ironically enough, getting hit by the meteor. Um, I always wonder, kind of like off topic or whatever, kind of on topic. Could you, imagine a world with dinosaurs today?
No.
Do you think we'd be at where we are at currently with what we've done to the ecosystem in terms of animals and causing some species to go close to extinct and things like that? Do you think it would be the same scenario where we would have like a dinosaur in a zoo somewhere and the rest would be close to extinct?
I think so,
Uh,
honestly.
I don't think we'd be as advanced as we. I think it would halt our advancement slowly.
Hmm.
Like we might be. I don't know. I don't know how long it would. I don't. We wouldn't be where we're at today, but we would definitely be maybe 50 to 100 years behind.
Yeah, I don't think the industrial period would have came about if we had dinosaurs. I think just we look what we do with horses and other creatures to help production. Imagine a creature 300 times that power of a horse.
What it could do, yeah.
So if we like at some point, it's just going off our own history, we would have found a way to tame most dinosaurs and use them for production. And that reliance on these creatures would have halted our need for industrial form of technology. So
Well,
I don't go ahead.
I was going to say, much like the wolf, we're when we domesticate an animal, they go through changes as well, where dogs are less aggressive, less, I would say, powerful, fast, and big as wolves, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that probably would happen with the dinosaurs, too. So, like,
no, it's very true, yeah.
I think it's like 50-50 that these things would become, the power, like, outdo horses and things like that. Because, like, there's no way in hell we're getting a T-Rex and doing the same things we can do with a horse. With the T-Rex, it's too big, it's going to ruin shit, you know what I'm saying?
Right. And there's things that we'd be able to do that we wouldn't be able to do with a horse or, maybe that's how they built the pyramids.
Honestly, yeah. Maybe.
I was thinking that like it is. I think there had to be some kind of creature to help them move things that weren't Persian horses or elephants. Like
Roman horses.
Elephants are great and all, but like I feel like there was some other creature that's now extinct that they had, and then only certain families had.
Possible. We weren't there. We wouldn't know.
Yeah, true.
Here's a good one. Most meat-eating dinosaurs had bones filled with air. Though their bones were huge, they weren't as heavy as they looked. And birds, current-day birds, had the same kind of hollow bones.
So that just plays on the bones are actually styrofoam thing, huh? Just in case someone does touch it. Oh my god.
Awesome.
It's crazy.
It is. It is.
It is weird to think that my chicken, or the chickens right outside our house that our neighbors have, are related to some sort of T-Rex. Millions of years.
Next thing you know, you wake up and one of them just grew really big.
Kind of be dope. Actually, I hate chickens, so wouldn't it be dope? You'd be like, wow, that's cool. And then like, wow, I hate it a second later, you know what I'm saying?
Fair enough. Just start making weird noises.
Wow.
I think it's a rooster, not a chicken.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
All right. So dinosaurs, back to the vegetarian, vegan dinosaurs. They would often eat large rocks, and they kept the rocks in their stomach to help grind up all of the plant material that was going into their body.
That's wild.
Yeah, I didn't actually know that, and that sounds awful.
Yeah.
Dude, they had the worst tummy aches.
Could you imagine just eating a bunch of rocks? Like, I'm gonna eat nothing but plants from now on. Let me eat some rocks to help me.
We were all three once. We ate some rocks here and there. All right. So yeah, I can imagine it.
It's crazy. That's actually crazy.
Yeah, I think so. I think overall, all in all, dinosaurs are definitely one of the biggest, wonders as well, because you kind of learn about it a lot throughout your life, kind of in school and things like that. To kind of teach you.
Hmm.
It's one of the why I don't know, but seems like a really big topic of introduction to kids and things like that. So
Yeah, definitely.
um, definitely something that definitely leaves a bit more to that bit of imagination than I think some wonders do.
Hmm.
Um, And especially because there's such a wide range, you're looking at dinosaurs that are just massive, almost as big as a blue whale. But then you're looking at some as small or the same size as us as humans, and there's just that drastic difference. Kind of like how you were saying before, Randy, is just it's mind-boggling. They had a whole way or ecosystem of life that we'll never get to really know how exactly it existed.
And to think like it makes you wonder. So like the first Aryan dinosaur evolved from a non-Aryan dinosaur. So not that Aryan. So like what was happening to this creature? Like was it just getting jumped every day after dinosaur school that eventually was like, I need wings to bounce home? Like what happened to
Taking
this
it
poor
somewhere.
dinosaur dog that he needed wings to get around? That's
You
the
know,
scary thing about evolution is like you see it in pets and not pets,
no, you see
like
the pets too.
you see it in bugs, in insects, like them developing certain things to help them survive other insects. But like a fucking dinosaur, like this little creature roaming the forest floor and getting stepped on by long necks and shit, and was like, I need wings. I'm tired of getting stepped on.
Hmm.
True.
It's like how do you even it's all like, even evolution itself is like a wonder, I think, um, that we can maybe even cover at some point, but, um, even for humans, like, the last, how many hundreds of years now, like, we haven't really evolved much, and to hear, you know, or to see science or whatever the case is, documentation about these animals evolving, it's kinda hard to picture that
Hmm.
in your mind because, we've gone so long and we haven't really evolved much. We've gained knowledge, yes, but I don't know if you'd consider that evolving.
Yeah, and I'll save my argument for that because I have like I've thought about that and I have an argument for it and why I think we aren't evolving like other species. But I'll just say it comes down to modern science.
Hmm,
Our reliance on modern science is why we're not evolving at a rate that other creatures have.
interesting, interesting.
I actually agree with that. Yeah, yeah, I would agree with that. But
Well, I guess it's, about that time.
it is about that time, right? You want to do the thing?
What thing do you want to give a shout out to the people at home?
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to anyone that has touched a dinosaur bone and lived to tell the tale. You madman! I know you crossed that line. You weren't supposed to.
They're coming for you.
Yeah, run, run.
Run.
Tell your story. Run. Tell the truth.
Actually, maybe not tell the story.
Don't
You don't wanna
never
get
tell it. Never,
you don't wanna get caught.
Well, the
never
truth
comment
needs to
on
come
this.
out.
Oh,
Never
no.
comment on this that you touched a dinosaur bone. Never
Yeah,
do
yeah, yeah. But if you do, use a VPN. Be
that.
smart.
uh, and that leads us to the sellout time. Uh, as always, go to sirbooty.com to check out our merch. You can see everything that Alec has made. It's all incredible things. Head over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/hypothetically sound to see videos. We do gaming, we do You Laugh, You Lose, we do all kinds of fun YouTube content. You can check out our podcast previous episodes on hypotheticallysound.podbean.com. We're on literally every site. We have a Tumblr, we have Twitter, we have Facebook. We are everywhere. We want to make sure you guys can find us. And as always, we thank you for all the love and support that we
Yeah.
get. It's amazing. Again,
Thanks for listening, guys.
so if you're listening in the past or the future, leave a note. Let us know. Let us know what other mysteries you would want us to talk about. And until that time,
Take it easy.
deuces. Alec got licked in the lips by the dog. He might have went inside. He got French kissed by the dog.
I did not get French kissed. Okay, only happens to you fucking weirdo. Yo, we're sitting out in the living room, or he is, and I'm in there, and I hear Randy go, "You're a good boy. No, stop, no, that's in my mouth."
Thank you for listening to Hypothetically Sound. We hope you enjoyed the episode. All episodes can be found at hypotheticallysound.podbean.com, as well as on Apple, Spotify, and Pandora. For full unedited video versions of the podcast, please visit us at youtube.com/hypotheticallysound.